Diep Thu Han, a beautiful, intelligent girl who is wholeheartedly devoted to love, discovers that her boyfriend of 4 years, Thu Han, her best friend, and Yen, have betrayed her right before their wedding. The story begins with suspicious signs, strange missed calls, Thu Han's mysterious absences, and the appearance of a strange lace thong in his car, a gift Thu Han had given to Yen. Thu Han, who trusts and loves Thu Han, tries to overlook her doubts, even working hard to return to him as soon as possible. But as the evidence becomes increasingly clear, she cannot escape the painful truth. The agony of being betrayed by both her lover and her closest friend causes Thu Han to crumble. However, instead of drowning in sorrow, Thu Han decides to take revenge. She quietly gathers evidence of Thu Han and Yen's affair. She uncovers the dark corners of Yen's past. A girl who always appears innocent and carefree, but is, in fact, ambitious and cunning. And Yen not only wants to have a little fun with Thu Han, but also aims to take him for herself, replacing Thu Han in his life. On the wedding day, Thu Han reveals irrefutable evidence of Thu Han and Yen's secret relationship, turning the wedding into a farcical spectacle. A video capturing their intimate moments, sweet messages, and raw confessions lays bare the ugly truth before all the guests. Thu Han destroys the reputations of both, making Thu Han a laughingstock and causing Yen to lose her job. After exposing Thu Han and Yen, Thu Han does not give Thu Han a chance to explain or plead for her to stay. She decisively breaks up with him, ending their 4-year relationship. Thu Han, despite feeling regretful and begging for forgiveness, cannot sway Thu Han's determination. She demands that he transfer 2 houses to her as compensation for the pain he has caused. And Yen, after being abandoned by Thu Han, still does not give up on clinging to him. She demands to marry him, asks for money, and creates many troubles for Thu Han. Thu Han meets Yen one last time and exposes her lies and schemes. She advises Yen to stand on her own merits instead of relying on men and deceit. In the end, Thu Han receives the house transfer contract from Thu Han and prepares for a new life. She decides to travel, enjoy her freedom, and explore the world. After all the suffering and hurt, Thu Han has become stronger, more independent, and more confident. She realizes that it's never too late to start over, and there are still many beautiful things waiting for her in the future. What do you mean? Both of you couldn't call me? Coincidentally disappeared all night? Thu Han, even if you really couldn't report him right away. What did you sleep last night? You and Yen. What exactly do you want to say? Thu Han interrupts me, his tone full of annoyance. Yen is my friend. You were just helping me take care of her. I was already exhausted watching a drunk person all night. I don't have the energy to comfort you anymore. After years together, Thu Han has never spoken to me in such a cold tone. My throat tightens and tears fall uncontrollably. Through the phone, it's as if I hear his promise from our college days. Silly girl, you are the treasure I love the most, of course. I will always pamper you. I had once seen a Thu Han who loved me with boundless patience. So I realize he has changed. There's silence on the other end for a few seconds. It seems he has heard me cry. His voice softens. I'm sorry, baby. I'm so tired. I didn't mean to speak harshly to you. I really didn't mean it. Please don't cry, okay? Then, as if he suddenly remembers something, he gently reassures me. Don't worry. I'll ask the designer to make a ring just like the old one, as soon as possible. I think, yes, maybe if I just return a little earlier, everything will go back to how it was. So I work even harder, speeding up the progress, and finally manage to return just in time for our anniversary. But then, on the way to Thu Han's company, I discover the lace thong in the glove compartment. I recognize that item. The other day at the mall, and Yen had picked it up, laughing in front of the mirror. Diep Thu Han, look at this. It's both innocent and seductive. Doesn't it suit me perfectly? Seeing her like it, I bought it for her. Yet now, I tremble as I pick up that delicate piece of lace, feeling my throat constrict, my vision blurring from dizziness. The seed of doubt in my heart finally explodes. A wave of emptiness and pain suddenly rises, squeezing my chest tightly. The porridge has been brought back. Thu Han remembers my preference, shredded chicken porridge, no onions. Meanwhile, Yen, who has just taken a spoonful of porridge, grimaces. Why is it so salty? You put too much salt in. Why is it so salty? You put too much salt in. Saying that, she naturally scoops a spoonful of porridge and brings it to Thu Han's mouth. Thu Han almost reflexively bends down. They stand very close to each other. Thu Han only stops when he is a few centimeters away from the spoon. It seems that at that moment, he suddenly remembers. He has a fiancée, and that fiancée is sitting right next to him on the hospital bed. Diep Thu Han, is the porridge to your taste? Are you still feeling dizzy? He awkwardly steps closer, intending to reach out and touch my forehead, but I dodge. I glance at his hand frozen in midair, my voice indifferent. I'm fine. I can eat by myself. Hearing that, Yin suddenly pretends to wake up, her eyes wide. Oh, Diep Thu Han. I'm sorry. I'm always so carefree like this. Everyone treats me like this. I forgot this is your boyfriend. You're not mad at me, are you? She pouts, looking apologetic, her naturally innocent face making it easy for one to soften. You're not mad at me, are you? She pouts, looking apologetic, her naturally innocent face making it easy for one to soften. I had once been deceived by that appearance, but now I only find that face so unfamiliar that I don't want to look at it for another second. How ridiculous. When I wanted to return him soon, I stayed up all night to speed up the progress. My best friend is now wearing the lingerie I gifted her, doing all sorts of intimate things with my fiancé. In that stormy night, when I clutched my phone, calling endlessly with no answer, they were entangled with each other like a real couple. I closed my eyes, burying my emotions deep within, then opened them, looking at both of them with a calm smile. Of course not. Why would I be angry at you two? You two are the most important people in my life. So, I have also prepared a very special gift for both of you. After being discharged from the hospital and returning home, perhaps feeling guilty, Thu Han treats me even more gently than before. He learns to cook, washes dishes, and does housework like a husband just starting out his role. When he brings the last dish to the table, and Yin's innocent voice rings out from beside him. Wow, Diep Thu Han, you're so lucky to have such a thoughtful boyfriend. Not like me. I always meet those terrible guys. I don't know when I'll ever find a good man like that again. My gaze sweeps over each dish on the table, finally landing on her face. If you like him that much, how about I let you have him? As soon as I finish speaking, Thu Han's expression immediately changes. He hesitates, then pretends to sulk. What nonsense are you talking about, little one? Joking like this isn't fun. He wraps his arms around my waist. Am I someone who can casually let you give me to someone else? I burst out laughing. Ha ha ha. I'm just joking. See how tense you are. But with such sweet affection in front of me, and Yin must be feeling uncomfortable, right? I shake my head, pretending to be troubled. And Yin has been silent all along. And now, just as she intends to speak, Thu Han interrupts. How about I finding Yin another place to stay? And Yin, what do you think? Thu Han. Look, he wants to kick me out. And Yin's eyes turn red, turning to me as if she wants me to defend her like always. I look straight into her eyes, filled with anger and unwillingness, and gently smile. Yin, Thu Han and I are about to get married. It's really not convenient for you to stay here forever. How about moving out? Not long after the meal. And Yin says she has a friend inviting her out for drinks, and then heads outside. Right after that, Thu Han, who had just finished washing a pile of dishes, received a call saying he had to work overtime and hurriedly left. Meanwhile, in a Mercedes that I had secretly replaced with a dual-lens dashcam, a dramatic play was being broadcast live, and Yin tugged at Thu Han's sleeve, tears welling up in her eyes like falling rain. Do you really want me to move out? I never intended to ruin things between you and Diep Thu Han, nor do I need you to take responsibility. I just like you, yet you treat me like this. Perhaps it was out of pity for Yin, or maybe the temptation was just too hard to resist. In the end, Thu Han still pulled her into his arms, skillfully removing her clothes. Amidst the fragmented sounds, the hurried breaths, and the frantic collisions, his voice was low yet cold. Make sure Diep Thu Han doesn't find out. A week before the wedding, and Yin moved out. I knew their secret meetings were just a shift from my house to a rented room outside. They had never truly stopped. Baby, you've been away on business for too long. I miss you like crazy. Thu Han wrapped his arms around me from behind, his warm breath brushing against my neck. I froze for a moment, then instinctively turned my shoulder to pull away. Not tonight. The wedding is coming up, and I'm a bit tired. Hearing me say that, he paused, tightening his embrace, his voice tinged with concern. What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? No, I'm just tired. Little one, you've been so distant with me lately. Is something bothering you? I heard his anxious voice behind me, and my heart felt like it was being twisted tightly by an invisible knife. So he was aware of the unease too, enjoying the thrill of secrecy while harboring a bit of guilt towards me. It felt like a lie mixed with a hint of genuine emotion. I placed my hand on my chest, reminding myself, just wait a little longer, just a little bit more. I wanted to exploit his guilt and vulnerability, turning it into a sharp knife that would stab back. I wanted him and her to hurt 100 times more than I did. It's nothing. Perhaps it's because of the upcoming wedding that I suddenly feel a bit anxious. Chapter 3. Thu Han, after hearing this, let out a sigh of relief and smiled. Say, silly, what's there to worry about? Tomorrow we'll go together to pick up the new wedding ring. Okay. 3 days before the wedding, Thu Han and I went to the jewelry store to get the new ring. Even though it was made in a hurry, its quality was no different from the previous one. It was still sparkling, perfect, and stunningly beautiful. Seeing that there were no issues, Thu Han went with the staff to sign a confirmation. His phone was left on the table, its screen lighting up continuously. I unlocked the screen. A message from an Yin appeared clearly before my eyes. I'm pregnant. Don't worry. I won't let this baby ruin your wedding with Thursday Han. I'll give birth to it myself. If you have anything to say to me, come find me. I'm waiting at the hospital. I looked at that green tea message and couldn't help but laugh. Thu Han was always careful in his work, but Yin was unwilling to be the third party. She certainly wouldn't let this wedding go smoothly, and that coincided with what I was waiting for. Not long after, Thu Han returned. His face was illuminated by the light from his phone screen, emotions changing continuously. Finally, he opened his mouth to speak to me. Thursday Han, the company has some matters to attend to. You go home first, okay? I'll be back as soon as I finish. I smiled. Can I go with you? I'm free anyway. His gaze avoided mine as he gently pinched my cheek. No need. I'll just stop by for a bit and then come back right away. Saying that, he hurriedly kissed my forehead, turned around, heading to the next appointment. He was in such a rush that he didn't even notice I had quietly followed him the whole way. A day before the wedding, according to tradition, the bride and groom are not allowed to meet. I curled up in bed, opening the footage from the dash cam. Before my eyes was the image of the man who was about to become my husband, shirtless, entangled with another woman. I smiled faintly. Now I just needed one final blow, enough to ruin both of them completely. I'm a bit tired. I think I have a fever. I texted Thu Han. At that moment, in video, the man immediately froze, stopping all actions. He jumped up, hurriedly putting on a shirt and pants. What are you doing? Just because of a word from Diep Thu Han, you're planning to leave me here and go find her? Thu Han, what do you think I am? And Yin clutched his sleeve, her eyes a mix of grievance and weakness. But Thu Han's profile was cold and resolute. He didn't hesitate to pry her fingers off one by one, his voice emotionless. She is my wife. And you, what are you? Look at your own identity. All of this was because you actively seduced me. With that, he signaled for her to get out of the car, without noticing her resentful and unwilling gaze. Less than half an hour later, Thu Han returned home. He carried a bag of medicine, his face full of worry, clearly just having left another woman's embrace. Yet when standing before me, he transformed into a man who loved me sincerely. He placed his hand on my forehead, anxiously asking, "You have a slight fever. Take some medicine and sleep for a bit, okay? You'll stay by my side." I took the medicine, allowing him to hold my hand tightly, drifting off in his embrace. When I woke up, it was already dusk. Thu Han was still sitting beside me, his expression complicated, his hand still holding mine. "I just had a strange dream," he said thoughtfully. "I dreamed that the matchmaker said, 'Meeting today is an omen of bad luck. Something unfortunate will happen.'" Saying that, he suddenly tightened his grip on my hand. "Thursday Han, dreams are always the opposite, right?" I smiled faintly, not responding. He seemed to be reassuring himself. "Tomorrow is our wedding day." I smiled faintly, not responding. He seemed to be reassuring himself. "Tomorrow is our wedding day. How could there be any bad luck?" Yeah, how could there be any bad luck? Wedding day. The banquet hall was luxurious. Guests were plentiful, and laughter filled the air. I held the bouquet, preparing to step onto the stage when the MC's voice interrupted. "It's almost time. Why hasn't the bride's family arrived yet?" I gently adjusted my wedding dress, smiling to reassure. "They just called me. They're stuck in traffic. They'll be a little late." "It's fine. Just proceed as normal." Hearing that, the MC sighed in relief and began directing the wedding music to play. The music started, and a large door in front slowly opened, under the watchful eyes of all the guests. I walked down the aisle towards Thu Han, the man in formal attire waiting on stage. This was the wedding I had been waiting for so long. The wedding hall was meticulously decorated, the dreamy color scheme, and the man who had sworn to love me for a lifetime. Amidst the applause, I placed my hand into Thu Han's. He trembled, happily taking out the unique wedding ring, slowly sliding it onto my ring finger. Just as he was about to place it on completely, a familiar female voice rang out from below the stage. "Thu Han, don't you need me and the baby anymore?" As soon as the words finished, the entire hall fell silent. I instinctively withdrew my hand. The ring fell to the floor, echoing coldly. Thu Han panicked, grabbing my wrist with such force it made me wince in pain. "Thursday Han, listen to me. And Yin is just joking." I smirked, joking. At that moment, the LED screen behind suddenly began playing a pre-edited video. It was the scene outside the maternity ward, and Yin and Thu Han in a struggle. It was the scene inside the car, the two of them entangled, sickeningly close. All of it was footage I had painstakingly watched over and over for hours to select the most highlighted moments. The hall was eerily quiet. Only the sounds of moans and the filthy audio from the video echoed. Trin Huck's mother was so furious she trembled, rushing onto the stage and slapping her son hard across the face. How could I raise such a disgraceful son like you? So embarrassing. Trin Huck turned pale, speechless. I looked over at Yen, who was panicking in the corner, and calmly said, Trin Huck, you just want a casual fling, but Yen doesn't think that simply. In the past few days, I had quietly investigated many things. I contacted people who had studied at university with Yen and gathered quite a bit of shocking information. It turned out she had just moved to the north not long ago and was blinded by money, getting involved with a wealthy old man, living in the luxury apartment he provided. Who would have thought he had a wife and children? Not long after, the legitimate wife came to the door, kicking her out mercilessly. And Yen had no mind for studying, only focusing on finding men to cling to, living a chaotic life. A few years later, not only did she fail to find a rich man, but she was also expelled from school. This time she returned, just to find someone to take the blame. Trin Huck, with a stable family background, a solid job, and easily swayed, just happened to catch her eye. I looked at the chaotic scene before me, leaned in, and whispered in Trin Huck's ear, Do you really think Yen is willing to be an unrecognized third party? She deliberately left her underwear in the car for me to find, pretended to be pregnant, forged ultrasound papers, all just to force me to leave you. Her goal was never to have a little fun with you, but to push me aside and marry you legitimately. Do you want to have both sides? This world isn't that easy. With that, I raised the bouquet in my hand and threw it straight at him. Trin Huck, for the past 4 years, I've treated you like a young, healthy boy toy. From now on, I'm out. Thursday Han. Trin Huck called me with a pleading tone, but I didn't bother to look back, leaving without any reluctance. Chapter 4. The wedding was called off. In an instant, Trin Huck became the biggest joke among friends and relatives. I didn't let it go easily either. I sent that special video to Yen's new company, where she had just started working not long ago. I heard she was fired immediately. I knew they would come back to find me, but unexpectedly, the first one to arrive was Trin Huck. He blocked me under the company building, with dark circles under his eyes, disheveled hair, and a clearly haggard expression. He blocked my path, his gaze filled with hope. Thursday Han, can you give me one more chance? Trust me, I will make Yen disappear. I took a step back, waving my hand. Goodbye, Trin Huck. I hope you keep your word and transfer the property to me. If not, I think your boss and colleagues should also enjoy those interesting video clips. Not long after, Yen also arranged to meet me once. She was still impeccably made up, as always, but she couldn't hide the noticeable bruise on her right cheek. She stared at my face for a few seconds, then chuckled lightly. I didn't expect someone as soft-hearted as you could set such a trap to bring me down. Even a cornered rabbit knows how to bite. I smiled. And Yen, after all these years, everyone changes. Just like you could change to become as dirty as you are now. I will certainly be different too. The calmness in my expression seemed to prick her. She held her head high, sneering. Don't think that just because Trin Huck won't marry me, I've lost. I still have plenty of opportunities to rise again, to find a better, richer man. As long as I'm alive, I will definitely live better than you. I didn't respond, just looked at her with pity, making her even more uncomfortable. Don't look at me like that. I hate your fake pity the most. And Yen suddenly lost control, as if she wanted to vent all the grievances she had suppressed for so long. From childhood to now, I have always been better than you. I'm prettier, smarter, more loved. If it weren't for that broken family of yours, why do you have to stand on the same level as me? I've come this far thanks to myself. And you, someone who relies on parents or boyfriends like you. What makes you deserving of a smoother life than mine? Seeing her face twist in jealousy, I couldn't help but laugh. I took out my phone, opened the photo album, and showed her one by one. It was a photo from the day she was slapped by the legitimate wife in front of the company. Hair messy, face swollen, looking pitifully miserable. There was nothing left of the Yen who once pretended to be noble in front of me. Watching her face pale bit by bit, I calmly said, Stop acting, Yen. I know you've had a miserable life these past few years. No money, beaten, fired. No one wants to take you in. In the past years, I truly considered you a friend. You can say I pity or look down on you all you want, but I genuinely felt sorry for you. It's a pity that you're not only foolish and cheap, but also ungrateful. Even when I used to feed a stray dog, it wouldn't turn around and bite the hand that fed it like you did. And Yen's face turned pale, her lips trembled violently, but in the end, she couldn't utter a word. I stood up, looking down at her from above. I'll give you one last piece of advice. The harder life gets, the more you should know how to seize every opportunity to stand up for yourself, to create value for yourself, not cling to men, using unscrupulous means, harming others while harming yourself. Go find a job. Who knows, it might still be time to salvage your wrecked life and never show up in front of me again. Just seeing you makes me nauseous. With that, I turned and walked away. Since I woke up, Thu Huck's gaze had remained dazed, as if he had never escaped from a dream. Behind me, Yin gritted her teeth, hissing through clenched teeth. Diep Thu Han, I hate you. After that, Yin and Thu Huck no longer bothered me. I only heard that Yin was still unwilling to give up, clinging to Thu Huck relentlessly, sometimes demanding marriage, sometimes money, making him suffer to the point of almost losing his job. It seems she still didn't heed my final warning. The day I received the property transfer contract sent by Thu Huck, I was preparing to head to the airport. It seems she still didn't heed my final warning. The day I received the property transfer contract sent by Thu Huck, I was preparing to head to the airport. Looking at the travel guide filled with vibrant photos, lush tropical trees, pristine white sands, crystal blue waters, my heart couldn't help but flutter. Finally free from all the troubles, I will enjoy my life from now on. The sky is high, the sea is vast, the sun is beautiful without a cloud in sight. A new beginning. It's never too late.